Hello, and welcome to our continued analysis of the IMDb movie dataset, this time coupled not only with information gathered from Twitter.com, but also with an additional dataset gathered from historical data of HSX.com. This initial dataset documented the opening week returns of movies since 2010. So, our goal in this analysis is to find a way to predict the opening week success of big blockbuster pictures. So to do this, we are going to look at only movies from 2010 onwards, as this helps in avoiding the difference in trends over time. It helps keep the value of money constant over time, and it also means that social media will have more of an impact as we are looking at twitter.com information. So to start our analysis, look at the average opening week sales of a movie since 2010. And as you can see, it is pretty standard, although it appears there's a slight upward trend. However, this could be just due to variation, so the average opening week box office are pretty similar. We also decided to see if the budget of a movie had any effect on the opening week revenues. And as you can see, there's a very positive trend. This is very logical, as if a movie has more of a budget, it infers that there would be much more of a marketing campaign behind that movie, meaning that more people know about the movie, thus more opening weekend revenues. Similarly, to continue our analysis after our first project, we saw that the rating in the genre played a large factor in the varying degrees of success of the movie. So we continue that trend by looking at the genre count after 2010 and the rating count after 2010. And similarly, as our first analysis, action, drama, comedy had some of the biggest movies, as well as the R content rating, the PG-13 content rating, and the PG content rating. So our next decision was to look at the Twitter data, compare that to and add that to the data set. So looking at this top graph, we're able to see that the amount of tweets per movie relative to the movie or to the actor is very random. Very random when compared to the budget. So as you can see, movies tend to have higher budgets, as seen in red, but the tweets will go down, so that there isn't much of an impact, but there could be some. This conclusion is seen in the bottom left graph below, seeing a slight upward trend when it goes from budget to movie tweets. And also, when we look at just the top 20 movies again, we can see that different content ratings in different genres seem to be the most prevalent. The content ratings staying the same. However, now when we're looking at just the top 20 movies, the blockbusters, we see just animation, we see just adventure, and we see action as the big three. Now, we're going to try to see what actually is causing these opening week sales to increase, and this is these top 20 movies by profit. So just these big blockbuster movies from the past 5 years. So we start by looking at budget, and as we can see, this trend remains similar to the one discussed earlier, where movies with a higher budget tend to have more opening week sales. We then wanted to continue our analysis from our second case when looking at movie tweets, and we see again that there is a positive correlation between movie tweets and opening week sales. And our analysis remains similar from the second case again when looking at actor tweets, seeing that there is very little impact on the effect of actor opening week sales. Our next step in creating a prediction model was to see if there was any effect of the genre on the movie or the content rating of the movie. So as we can see, we broke down the content rating and genre into the three categories. So the leftmost graph shows the action genre and the content rating there. And as you can see below, the action movies that are in the PG-13 movies shown here are tending to make more opening week revenues than the action movies in the R content rating. And we only had one PG in the action rating, but it was also much below the action rating. Our next step was to look at the adventure rating, and we can see that PG-13 tended to make the most money when it comes to adventure. We did have one G and two PG movies, but they were below most of the movies in the PG-13 content rating. Finally, when looking at animation and comedy, we can see that these values are also much further below the average opening week revenue scores of action and adventure content ratings. And this led us to the conclusion that these variables needed to be included within our actual prediction model in order to create a more sensible regression. So these variables, the genre and the content rating, were included in the model as dummy variables that would impact the overall opening week prediction of the 3 movies that we were trying to predict. So now we look at our actual predicted values, and we chose to look at 3 movies coming out within the next few weeks: Baywatch, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and Pirates of the Caribbean. We chose these movies as the Twitter information would be the most relevant, as is coming out soon, and we have a good idea of what the budget and the content rating and the genre of these films are going to be. So after looking at the predicted value, we can see that Baywatch is expected to make the least. Guardians of the Galaxy and Pirates of the Caribbean 2 are tending to make more. We also decided to show graphs of these movies relative to where the other movies fell in their place. We can see that the data points fit in pretty similarly with other movies that came out of that kind. If we look at Pirates of the Caribbean in this top right graph, we can see that it has a big budget, but that is going to not make as much opening week revenue. This is in the action-based category for PG-13. Similarly, when looking at the bottom few graphs, we can continue to see where some of these movies fit in trend-wise with other movies. If we look in the bottom left graph, we can see a movie such as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has very similar count of movie tweets as a movie right near it, Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2, and shares all other similar factors. The only thing that are different is the budget is slightly less than the Twilight movie. The content rating and genre are the same. As you can see, they fall very, very closely together, indicating to us that this prediction model that we have created is is accurate to a high degree. Finally, we decided to see if the average of our opening week box office scores remained similar to what we had seen previously. And as you can see, it is very similar to the scores, or the average opening week box office scores of the past 5 years, fitting in to the trend that we've seen, and showing once again that this model has been accurate to a certain degree. Thank you for watching our analysis of this IMDb movie dataset coupled with data sources from other areas.